Hey everyone, welcome back to Minibike Mike's Garage, and welcome back to another video on the Moab CT70. I actually believe this is video number 7, if you guys are keeping track out there. Now, the bike itself is pretty much ready to go. In the last video, you saw me swap out the engine. I didn't like the shift pattern on the previous Lifen that I had in there, so I put this other Lifen in. That created a whole string of problems with foot pegs and engine guards and so forth, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't really know if I like what I did. To get it all to fit the way it needed to go, I had to lower the pegs down a little bit to get some clearance underneath the engine. Well, I don't like the idea that it cut down on my ground clearance. I had a center stand on this particular set of pegs. I don't think you guys can see it, but go back and see the other videos. You'll know what I'm talking about. I think I'm going to completely scrap the idea of the center stand. I don't know why I thought I wanted that in the first place. So I have contacted Bart Moto, and I bought a set of pegs that should hopefully bolt flat up against the engine and give me back all that ground clearance that I lost with trying to modify these to get those in there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch video number 6 on the Moab CT70 build. So, like I said, the bike is pretty much ready to go. The one thing I've been stringing you guys along on and have never shown you is how I'm carrying all the gear and what gear I am carrying. I've mentioned multiple times about how I took the fuel tank out of the inside of the frame, and you can't see it really, but we put an auxiliary tank on the back. But I've never really shown you what I plan on keeping it, why I did that, and how I'm going to utilize inside of that frame. Well, that's going to happen in today's video. That's all we're doing today. I'm just going to show you everything I've packed on the bike, other than my personal stuff. Change of underwear, change of socks, maybe a pair of pants that I'm going to take out to Moab. Everything else I think I have on the bike. I need to finish putting a few bits of clothes and those sorts of things on there. So I think I'll grab a handheld and let's just take a walk around it before we tear into all this and show you all that. Let's just take a look at the bike. Now I still need to tear it down and paint it, but that'll come after we know. I'm going to put some miles on it and make sure everything is the way I want it before I actually put any paint on the frame. So before we tear into the bags and underneath the seat and take a look at how I've got this thing packed down, just in case this is your very first video of mine that you've ever watched and you have no clue what's going on and you're going, Mike, what's all that crap on that bike? So this is a Honda CT70 K0 that I have built to participate in an event in Moab, Utah in the fall of 2025. It's a 7-day event. There's like 30 or 35 of us that are going to be riding in the Great American Monkey 1000. So I'm going to be on the trail for 7 days. There is a chase truck, but there kind of is not a chase truck. It's not going to be right behind us. It's going to be a distance off. So you pretty much need to carry everything that you think you might need for a breakdown on the trail. I have taken some time, and like I said, there are 6 previous videos to this one about some of the things that I've done. Extended the swing arm, built that rack on the back, the auxiliary tank, the LED lighting, and so forth. Put the Lifen in it. This is all the stuff I've got up here. I loved how in the last video, a subscriber referred to that as my dash. He said I like the dash, so that's kind of, I got a kick out of that. I thought that was kind of funny. But that's got my GoPro and my phone and my GPS speedometer and USBs and all that kind of thing. So what I've got is, this is a tool roll. And I'll take it off here in a minute and open it up and show you all the tools I'm taking. That is just a tent, so I'll probably not worry about taking that off right now. You guys know what a little pop-up tent looks like. This is my bag that's going to have my personal stuff in it and a few extra parts that I could not put in the frame. I've got a sleeping bag underneath. I've actually got like a Camelback water, carries a couple liters of water. And you're supposed to wear it like a backpack, but I'm not real big on having things on me when I ride. So I got a feeling I'll fill it with water and then just strap it to the top of this bag. This is an inflatable sleeping pad. We don't know if we're gonna have accommodations to sleep in a real bed or if we're gonna be camping out every night. If you don't know anything about the event, there is a link in the description that maybe can fill you in on a little bit of what's going on. But all right, I've jibber-jabbered enough. I'm gonna set up a tripod. Let's dig in and start showing you how and what I've got packed on this bike. Well, I hope the way I've got this set up, you guys can see everything okay. So as I explained, this is just a water bladder for carrying, you know, we're gonna need some refreshments or some hydration out in Moab. Now, I don't have this actually out, but obviously I don't have it strapped down. It'll get all strapped down to the rack and so forth, but for video today, I just have it sitting up there. And like I said, it still does not have some clothes, some toiletries, and those sorts of things that I'm going to be taking. So inside this bag, right now I've got my rain pants, roll of paper towels, a headlight, and an extra, this is a chest mount for my GoPro. I've got a small first aid kit. This is a extra stator for the life and engine, in case we, you might go, why in the world do you have that? If you've never thrown a chain off of one of these bikes and the chain all bunches up and breaks off the pickup coil on the stator plate, then that's why I have that, just in case something like that happens. This is all a bundled up a Nibbi, a brand spanking new Nibbi 22mm carburetor. It's got extra bolts, it's got extra gaskets, it's got extra jets, everything, anything to do with the carburetor is bundled up inside there. I am taking another quart of oil. I've got a couple inner tubes that are for my particular bike. I'm riding with 3 other guys. Patrick from Southeast Vintage Cycle Rescue. I'm riding with Stuart, who is from Georgia, and John, who is from Las Vegas, Nevada. And we have been talking. They're going to carry their own, because I know some of them are using 12-inch tires and wheels. So they're going to carry their own things for that, but so I've got tubes for mine. I am not techie at all. I don't know about GPS systems and all this good stuff. So a couple of the other guys on our team are handling all that, helmet communications and those sorts of things. But before we even formed the team, I bought this book, this off of Amazon. It's Moab, Utah back roads and four-wheel drive trails, and it's for motorcycles and Jeeps and anything. And it's got basically every trail in it. Just in case something electronic is not working, I'm going to go ahead and have this. I think I've got room for it in my bag so that we have something to reference, you know, maps and where we're at and where the trail goes and so forth. And then the last thing I have inside here is all my GoPro stuff. This has lightning cords for my phone and all the mounts and different things that I might need for the GoPro, a handheld or a little tripod that I use as the handheld, and that's in there. And then, like I said, lastly, the last things that'll go in there are some clothes. There are a couple side cases, and this side case has nothing but I've got a couple ratchet straps and some just little bungee type cords for in case we need to tie something down. And that's the only thing in this side case. And then on the other side, it doesn't have much in it either. I've got a sock to go over my carburetor in case we run into some kind of moisture. I use these on the Lake Michigan and the West Virginia trip, and for $7 or whatever they are off of Amazon, that actually work really, really well. Just fit over the air cleaner, allows air to come in, but it keeps the moisture out. So I've got that. I have a funnel for my oil, and I have some slime in case I don't want to take the time to, if I think I just have a puncture and I don't want to pull the thing off, the tire off, I'll just fill a tube full of slime and away we go. And I believe that is everything that I have in the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pick this stuff back up, get it out of the way, and we'll move on to something else. Well, I decided to go ahead and leave that stuff there instead of putting it back in the bag. That way we can take a look at it all in one group, what we have. This is my sleeping bag. Nothing special about that, but I kind of need to get it out of the way to get to the seat here. I tell you what, before we do dig into that, let me grab my tool pouch. And I don't have it there again. I don't have it strapped down right now, just for ease of grabbing it. So, obviously we've got sockets. There is a ratchet, and I've got everything from 8mm to 19 in there, I believe. I've got screwdrivers slash tire irons, an extra screwdriver. I've got wire cutters, 2 or 3 vice grips, needle nose, pliers. I've got every wrench from 8mm to 19mm. I actually even have a impact driver with a bit in case I do need to change that stator and I need to take out those 2 screws and to get it out, so I'll need an impact. But yeah, I've got multiple. I got more screwdrivers than I'm ever going to need. I've got a little bit of baling wire, some electrical tape, and some zip ties stuck in there. So that is everything that I have in that tool roll. Did I get everything? Yeah, I talked about everything that's in there. All right, now let's dig into underneath this seat. And I know you guys are going to go, why in the world do you have all that crap? And honestly, I've lived my life. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I know it might sound silly on some of this stuff, but I'm taking it with me. It fit. So first of all is another handlebar clamp, and I'm not going to take it out of the bag. I just put it in these little bubble wrap bags just so it kind of wouldn't rattle around in there. But I've got another handlebar clamp in case I happen to break that one. I've got a left and a right complete set of levers in case I down the bike, break a lever, or break the perch and do all that. So I went ahead and I had room for them, so I threw them on the bike, threw them in the bike. I've got an old dirty used shift lever in case that breaks off. This has everything in it to do with the throttle and or fuel. I've got a couple more of those socks just in case one of the other guys might need one and doesn't have one in case we run into some rain. So this has throttle and cable that's the exact same as what I have on the bike, so in case something breaks there. This is actually a clutch cable. I don't need it since I'm using a semi-auto, but I've carried it with me on other bikes, so just in case somebody else needs it, I'll have it in case they need it. Some extra fuel line, an extra shut-off petcock, and then this is the screws into the bottom of my auxiliary tank, just in case something happens and that happens to get broke, that nipple gets broke off, I've got another one. So that's why that's in there. So that bag is everything throttle / carburetor related. This bag is everything electrical. So I've got a couple extra CDIs. I've got a couple extra voltage regulators. These are a couple extra LED bulbs that I have in my headlight. That's just some spare wire in case I need to run a hot wire. And then this is one of those run-only wiring harness kits that I buy off of Amazon that you've probably seen me talk about before. So it's got just a simple wiring harness in here. It's got a brand new coil, and then there are a couple spark plugs. This is just a kill button. So because once you disconnect the wiring harness from the bike and you plug in this harness, you don't really have a way to kill the bike. Key doesn't work or anything like that, so this will kill it. So that's what's in this bag, is everything in case we have an electrical issue, something happens. The engine doesn't need a battery or anything to run, so this will get us off the trail if something electrically goes wrong and we just need to bypass everything and get the engine running. This is a air compressor. Just a small little air compressor. It also has a USB, and so I can use it to recharge if phones or something like that. So I'll make sure that's good and charged up, ready to go. But in case we need to air up a tire, or we need to emergency, charge something, that's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of big, but it's what I have and it fit, so I'm taking it. That's just a whole nother chain, RK chain. This, I'm not going to dump it out. This is just nothing but a bag of hardware. There's a swing arm bolt in there. Maybe I ought to grab a couple engine bolts. I didn't grab any engine bolts. Maybe I'll do that and throw these in there. But I just have all kinds of different size and lengths of bolts and nuts and soap washers and so forth. A couple clamps. So in case something vibrates off, something vibrates loose, we've got a spare. What else do we have in here? This is chain related stuff. So I have a complete new chain right here, but I've also got a couple shorter lengths, sections of chain. There are a couple different sprockets. I've got on the bike right now, I have a 17T sprocket for street riding. Now, it'll probably be too high geared for Moab, so I've got a 16 and a 15. So I've got plenty of options there. I can gear the bike down. So lots of master links I threw in there. I've even got an extra clip that holds the rear sprocket in place on the cush drive setup. I've got another C-clip in case something happens and that pops off, we lose it or whatever. And I actually have another sprocket that's right here. And I've had a few people ask me, well, why do you have that sprocket on there? Well, I put one, it was a last minute thought. I put one on that ST90 that I rode to West Virginia, and I didn't have any place. So I just zip tied it to the guard up there. That thing drew more attention than anything else. And so it was a good conversation starter. So I went ahead and just put one there. So we'll see what happens. I'll be curious at how many people ask me why I have that sprocket on there. So anyway, so that bag is nothing but chain and sprocket related stuff. Well, if we have an issue with a chain, we need a chain brake. And if I have an issue with a stator and I need to get the flywheel off, I've got a flywheel puller. And then lastly, this one you guys are really going to love. I know these are way oversized, they're huge, but they're what I have. They work fantastic, and I got them to fit in there, but I've got this pair of snap ring pliers, just in case I do need to take off the snap ring on that rear hub. I've got these things in there, and I know they're hilariously large, but I had room, so they got put in there. Do I have anything else? Oh, I actually have in this little compartment here in the back, I actually have a bag that has a cable and a master lock in it, just in case we get someplace and we feel it's sketchy. And we don't want to leave the bikes. We can, the cable is long enough to run it through all 4 bikes. These things are so easy to steal. I mean, it doesn't take much to pick one of these up and throw it in the back of the truck and it's gone. And we definitely don't want that to happen in Moab. So I got a cable so we can tie the bikes together if we feel like that's a necessary thing to do. So, because I don't think any of them want me riding bitch on the back of their bikes with them. So, all right. I think that's all I have. Like I said, that's just a sleeping pad. That's my tent. Everything else is out of the bike. So I'm going to grab the camera and just kind of bring it down and zoom in a little bit better. But this is everything I'm taking. If you see something, well, or something I don't have that you think I should have, let me know what that is. I can't imagine what else I would need. I know I'm going to get tons of comments saying that I'm taking way too much, but I'm okay with that. It all fit on the bike, so I'm okay. So anyway, let me grab that, get you a little closer view. Well, there it is. That's the majority of things that I'm loading this bike down with to go to Moab. Like I said, let me know if, I'm just curious, what would you carry? Is there something that you would carry that I don't have? I'm just curious to hear what you would be prepared to take with you. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up there, and I will see you on the next video. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.